Right, so let's go on to the transfer news. So there's been big talk about Sancho, and Real Madrid have joined the pursuit. I can't even say. With Manchester United, and Zidane started a scouting in Europe for his best young players, of which is Sancho.
Yeah,
so
that's where it falls in a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. So what do you think about this move for Sancho? Where do you think he'll go, and what do you think will be the big factor?
Personally, I think he's better just staying in Dortmund and trying to develop his career for 1 or 2 years, and then moving to one of the bigger clubs like your Real Madrid, I wouldn't say Man United now, but maybe a Real Madrid or Barcelona, because he's still young. Is he still 20? Is he?
Yeah, I think he's 21. I think he's above 20.
Yeah, and I feel like if he can just stay in the Bundesliga for a few seasons and try to develop his game like all round, and then move to a bigger club such as Real Madrid or Barcelona, I think, it'd be better for his career overall, because you've seen some players struggle with that big leap all in one, going to a bigger league, a more competitive league, and I feel like he should give himself time before he makes that jump.
Yeah.
I think if he's going to move anywhere, I feel like he would move to a Premier League club. Like I agree that I think he should stay at where's it? I forgot the team's name. Dortmund, thank you. For a few more years, but I think if he's going to go anywhere, it would be to the Premier League, because he's obviously he's been picked for the England team before, but if he's living in England, it means he's more able to go to the training sessions and he'll be able to play more games, which I think isn't necessarily something that will matter to him now at the moment, but later on in his career might be the deciding factor between choosing a Premier League team and going over to Barcelona, Juventus, or Real Madrid.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
So I've actually talked about this point with Jadon Sancho and Timo Werner. So there was a pundit who said basically they'd be better off staying at the teams they're currently in, because there's no guarantee that they'll be played first team football throughout a season. I can't remember who it was, but there was someone who was hyped up just as much as Jadon Sancho a couple of years ago, and he moved to the Premiership, and it was a complete flop of a deal. He was barely played in the first team. He barely started, and that just wasn't good for his career, because his career never took off after that. And if they're thinking for themselves, I think they should stay at the teams they're currently in, both Sancho and Werner. But it sounds to me like United have basically secured the deal. In my last video, I said United have said they'll give him the 7 shirt. They'll give him the number 7 shirt, and they basically provided, like, they've given him, like, they've basically just organised all the details of their signing.
Yeah.
If they're giving him the number 7 shirt, that's almost definite. We're going to play you. Yeah. And I in his position, I would wait a season and see where he can go with Dortmund, and then move to whatever club he wants, just to keep other clubs like wanting at him. Because the moment he moves, there's no guarantee of anything. He could stay on the bench for a whole season, and it would completely ruin his career not playing.
Yeah. He's having a hell of a season at the moment at Dortmund, so why ruin it for?
Yeah,
for
he's having a brilliant season.
Yeah, I think it's something like 30 goals in 30 games or something stupid like that.
It was like 14 goals in his last 15 or something.
Yeah, he got a ridiculous amount of goals. He got a record, didn't he?
I know Haaland got a
goal
record.
contributions.
Oh, it was Haaland, yeah.
But I'll give you a point from United, because it's going to be a bit biased there either way. So from a United point of view, we need a right winger no matter. We've got Dan James, who's...
You need anything, I don't know.
So we need Jadon Sancho because it's a big money move. We like that all the time. He's young, he's up and coming, and I'm sure he'll buy into the project that we're trying to do at the moment.
United only ever spend big money though.
Well,
Although,
if they're buying a player, it's automatically like 80, 90, 100 million.
Dan James, we spent 20 mil on him.
When?
Last summer.
yeah, but like, who was Dan James before that? I feel like that's a lot for Dan James.
He played against City and he was good. But Ryan Giggs, who used to play for United, the coach there, so he's given a ton of like players, well not a ton, but like he's given like ideas to United of who to sign at Swansea. They're quite good at the moment.
Does Sancho play left or right?
Right, and we need a right.
Yeah, but I thought James played right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays right, but he's not experienced, and we need to like give him more game time, but in slow bits.
Yeah. But that's the only thing I'd feel bad for James, because obviously he didn't have a bad introduction to the league, and if he's just played a decent season, especially for his starting, I'd feel bad for then Jadon Sancho to come over and basically take his position and make James irrelevant again.
Yeah.
Which obviously might cause a bit of controversy in the locker room, which is really something United don't need at the moment or any more of.
Yeah, I think Dan James, we brought him in for the future, and we weren't supposed to start him this season, but deals fell through and we didn't get ones that we needed, so he had to start for us in most games, which isn't ideal. So that's why we really need Sancho from a not a United perspective, which is quite hard. I can see why he would stay at Dortmund, but I think for his career to grow, he needs to make this move while he's doing really well at the moment. So if he comes to United and stays there for 3-4 years and then makes that bigger move to Real Madrid or Barcelona, that's how most players do it. I don't know if he'll do it like that, but that's what
it'd be a big money move to United.
Yeah,
I feel like money might be the main factor that comes in, and is something obviously United are quite experienced with, so they'll be able to possibly pull him over more so than Real Madrid.
Yeah,
just as a thought, how much did you sign Fred for?
I think it was 50 mil.
Okay. You're not nice.
Just carry on.
You're not nice, mate. That was
We're still working on him. But I think, Sancho, I don't think he's going to go to City or Liverpool because they've got massive financial troubles at the moment. And City would play the buyback clause, but I don't think he wants to go there. And you don't really want a player in your locker room who's doesn't want to play for you. So I
don't think Sancho's as needed either at City than he is at other clubs.
Oh yeah, because that's
pretty sorted.
Yeah.
You just need more solidity. Is that a word? Sounds like the right one. But yeah.
Also, Jack Grealish, he's been linked with United as well.
Oh,
what do you think about that,
Joe?
Personally, I think he would stay if we stayed up. There's no guarantee that we will, though. And if we go down, I can't see him staying much more than a season, if he even does stay for that season. If we go down, I doubt we'll keep him for very long.
What about you?
And he could go anywhere.
Grealish.
Yeah, I think it's down to if Villa stay up or not. But even if they do stay up, I think he's a much better player than in comparison to Villa at the moment. Obviously, he's been linked with half the Premier League. But in my opinion, United's the only place I could really see him starting and starting at a squad that they'd probably like be able to win something in the near future.
Yeah, United quite a young squad. I think he'd fit in well.
Yeah. There's also Tottenham, but I can't see them going anywhere in the future. So.
Well, Tottenham are struggling with money at the moment, so I don't think they're signing anyone this summer.
Oh, you're so smug being an Arsenal.
I am. I'm well happy with that. When I first read it, I had the fattest grin on my face, all right? Bigger than this one at the moment. But yeah, I doubt. I've heard bits about they might even have to sell Harry Kane. So I'm praying, but that's to come.
Yeah, I think Jack Grealish. At the moment, we've been linked with Donny van der Beek at Ajax and Jack Grealish. So the reason why we would go for Grealish was because we don't want to overpay on Maddison for about 100 to 80 million. But then Jack Grealish is getting quoted for 80 million and 50 before.
Jesus Christ.
But what gets me is we don't need him. We've got Bruno, Pogba and McTominay in that midfield.
You've only just bought Bruno, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, but what a pull he was, eh?
Yeah.
He cleaned up United towards the end of that season.
Yeah. Also, we don't need him as a support because he wouldn't want to be a support, would he? He would want to be starting every single game. And I just think if we did make a move for that position of a centre attacking mid or a centre mid, we would go for Van der Beek and save more money on him than we would for Grealish.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think.
Well,
he's not a bench player. He's not a super sub. He is someone you put on the pitch to get you places.
Yeah.
And I'm very biased because he's an absolutely phenomenal player. I've seen him. He's beautiful to see in person when he's on the pitch.
Whoa.
Don't take that. He is. He makes some phenomenal runs, and I can't see him being kept on the bench, which is why I don't know if United actually need him.
We don't
sign Bruno.
We've got Pogba.
On your players.
Well, not definite though.
Got Pogba. Yeah. Have you got Pogba?
He's back, and he says he wants to play. So I'll take his word for it.
He said he wanted to play last season.
He's a hard player. Let's put it that way.
Is it an issue with him or is it his agent this season? Because he's only played 3 games, is it?
Something ridiculous like that. I know his agent Mino Raiola. I know his agent Mino Raiola's an absolute pain in the butt to like talk to. I know we were gonna sign Matthias de Ligt last season, but then Juventus came in and he didn't want de Ligt to go to United because of what happened to Pogba. But yeah, his agent's a bit of a tosser.
Have we got anything else? Any other transfer news at the moment?
Timo Werner.
Yeah.
Chelsea, apparently he's agreed a deal. I don't know how much of, but what gets me is how are Chelsea getting all this money? I know they had a ban, but apparently they're getting Havertz now somehow.
Yeah, I've seen them linked with a few people. Havertz, Werner, there's someone else as well. I can't quite remember who.
They've just signed Ziyech as well from Ajax for about 60, is it?
It was a
Chelsea.
It was a steal.
Chelsea are going to be a force to reckon with next season.
I can't see them signing Werner and Havertz. Not in the same season anyway. They might sign him next season, either of them, but I can't see them signing them both in the same season, especially where they are now, because they're not. They were struggling to get top 6. Where did they end up?
Who? Chelsea.
I
think they're 4th now.
Oh yeah,
4th.
Both us, yeah. But I think
league positions, please.
9th. Anyway.
Hey.
I think, like Chelsea and United are very similar. They've both got up and coming young talent, and I think, like you said before, they're forced to be reckoned with in the future. But I think if they do get Havertz, that'll be a good signing. Werner will be a good signing. So they're making all the good signings, but I think they need depth in them positions as well. Like, who's going to replace Willian next season when he leaves? It's like those types of things.
Yeah.
Well, if they get the players that they're talking about, then I don't think they're going to have to worry about Willian leaving. Like, he's always been an average player, I think. He's had his moments, but I don't think he's ever been that much of a necessity for their team.
Yeah. Any more transfer news?
No, not from me.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm all.
So I've just read something quickly about Werner, and they've got a 12-day trigger release clause for somebody to come and snap him up. and I think it's about 50 million or something like that, which is an absolute steal considering he should probably be around 90 million. So if you were Chelsea or one of those clubs, what would you be considering? Would you just snap him up like that, or would you go through things to get him first?
Well, for a player of his caliber, was it 50 million?
I think it's yeah.
I think the release clause is 50 million.
Yeah,
I think it's either 50 or 62,
yeah,
something like that.
55 million euros.
But if everyone puts in 50 million, you just start bidding war. I would, at 50 million, I'd snap him up. And yeah, I'd definitely snap him up for anything up to about 80, 90 million. But
United.
Yeah. No, he is a phenomenal player, and I would sign him instantly for 50 million. But where are they getting the money from?
Yep, Roman Abramovich, big Russian man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ighalo's come back to United because his loan was meant to finish June time. At first, his Chinese club was saying, "No, you're not having him. We want him back." But we've offered them a deal, and obviously it's worked. So we've got him on an extended loan to January, which is good because we needed a backup striker. But yeah, that's all I've got transfer news wise.
I think there might be something else. Let me check ESPN quickly. I think I have read something.
I still don't think Kai Havertz will go to Chelsea. I think he'll go to Bayern Munich.
I don't think they have. If they sign Werner, I think they have a better chance of signing Havertz because they've already attracted a brilliant young player from the Bundesliga. But it really comes down to financial fair play because they've paid, I think it was like 25-30 for Ziyech, which is for the type of player he is.
A steal, yeah.
That it's a brilliant signing. But if they then pay 50 million for Werner and then pay what I think will be about 80 million for Havertz, they might be looking at another ban sometime soon if they keep spending like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got to think about next season because FFP isn't just one season, is it?
No.
So if they spend all this money this season, they never know what's going to happen next season. They could be in need of a defender or what. So yeah, I can't see them buying both players at the same time.
Yeah, hopefully they've learned from last time. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think out of that ban that they've had, I think they've got some great young talent like Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount. What's the right back's name? Reece James. Like, when a bad thing happens, something good always comes out of it the majority of the time.
Silver line.
Not for us. We had Tammy Abraham. We were loving it.
Didn't they bring him back from you, and then they were going to put him out to Wolves, but then they didn't and kept him anyway?
Yeah, they kept him on because they brought him back, and then there was talk of him going on loan to someone else, but they kept him on because obviously they wouldn't have been able to get in a lot of players or any players, so they kept him on, and then he was phenomenal the first time they put him on.
Yeah,
and he's an aerial beast. There isn't a header that he doesn't win.
Have you got anything, Pete?
To be honest, I kind of had a brain freeze for like the last 10 minutes. So I have no idea. I heard aerial attack, and that's about it. To be honest, so who are you talking about? Tammy Abraham. Oh, wait, where's he on about moving to? He's not moving, is he?
No, he's not moving.
All right, okay, yeah. Well, he's a hell of a player. But that's another thing. Because he's striker, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And if they get Werner, he's going to end up being
Give
their
him back to
second
Villa.
striker. He's going to end up being their second striker, and it's like the same thing with James. If they sign Sancho, that he's going to miss out on his playing time and building on his skills.
I doubt he'll stay at Chelsea if he's on the bench.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Which is bad for Chelsea. Because Chelsea will
he's a young player. He wants to be on the pitch, and Chelsea won't be able to keep him if he's on the bench all the time.
I heard something this week, Pete, about Thomas Partey and Arsenal, and apparently you're linked with him. He's a central defensive midfielder, and I think central defensive midfielder.
CDM.
Anything to do with defence is good for Arsenal. I'm telling you. I don't care who it is, but David Luiz hasn't got it, and he's going to end up retiring next week or something. But we've signed someone else from the Italian league, haven't we? I think it was just before the end of the before the season got called off. We have signed some defenders, but whoever it is, it's needed because Arsenal's defence at the moment is a shocker. Apart from Bernd Leno. Sorry, apart from Leno, the defence is like a big issue over there.
Yeah, apparently. So he's, just to give you a bit of background information, he's 27, Ghanaian, I think, and
what?
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian.
Okay,
Ghanaian.
Something like that. And he's meant to be a bit of a beast in the centre of the park. He's a bit like Fernandinho, say for instance.
I feel like we need someone to bully the midfielders and the strikers a bit more because I think
he's not doing it, is he?
No. Well, I think we've got, to be honest, Arsenal's team is mostly from their youth club, and some of the players that they've got, they're either falling off or are building up. But I don't think, with the way Arsenal are at the moment, I don't think their team's set to be able to build players up. Like Tammy Abraham has had the right team to be able to build on his skills, and same as James and Sancho and all of them have had the right teammates to be able to build up. Whereas when you get a whole team, basically, of older players that are their peak of their career has been and gone, and they're slowly falling off, and then a whole bunch of younger players that are building up, it's just not right for them. So if we get a solid player, like you said, that's a bit of a beast, that can stand up for everyone, and that can send Aguero on his arse or whatever, anything like that would be right for Arsenal.
Yeah,